All right, big time is showtime and live. Listen up, everybody. Yeah, we're here at the Hofbrau, Mikey Novak's bar. We got two University of Lowell legends here, Doug Nolan and John Mahoney. And I just want to talk about these two guys for a second. Doug was my hockey night in Boston line mate. He was a left wing at the time, which I always thought he should have been a defenseman. He became a defenseman, and he played for a long time. Hubie McDonough, I believe, took a big liking to him in Manchester and really let Dougie play. And Dougie was, very similar to a guy like a Gordy Roberts on the Bruins. I feel like he could have played for a long time. There's a lot of guys that I played in the American Hockey League with or around this area who had NHL talent, but they were an American kid, or maybe they had blossomed a little bit late. And I think Dougie was one of those guys. He was never good around the net with the puck. But, in your own zone, covering the point, getting the puck off the wall. He could get the garbage goal, but he wasn't going to get you any extra goals. But as a defenseman, he was I watched the American League game one time in Hershey, and he was the best defenseman on the ice. And so I really attribute that to Doug learning the game and really never giving up and being a shinny hockey legend over at Quincy Youth Arena with Bevan Gert, and then along later with Michelle Stenberg, who always was very hard on me, but always showed me a lot of love. And I also want to talk now about John Mahoney. John Mahoney was anyways, he was probably the best 16-year-old in the world. I believe he got drafted into the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League back when not a lot of American kids were drafted. Were you in what round? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
So he was drafted by the Hull Olympics. This is back when Jeremy Roenick was going there. Robbie Canterman, John Mahoney, Jeff Conley. Those were three of the guys I really looked up to as hockey players. And then, I became as good as any of them. And I'm really honored to have them on my show and as my friends throughout this time. The reason I started to do shows was to show, and John contacted me tonight, and he's a police officer, actually, and a canine cop for years. I don't know, are you still doing that?
No, I did it for 9 years.
Yeah, he's not doing it anymore. So, but he connected with a friend of mine, Brian McLaughlin, out of Situate, Mass. And, Blue Lives Matter, every life matters. And support your local police. If you're doing wrong, I'm not your boy. If you're a bad guy, I'm not your man. I'm edgy and I'm hardcore, and I think all men should be. But if you're a scumbag and you're breaking the law, the difference between right and wrong. And anyway, so I want to jump right into the hockey part of this, but I also do like to talk about life. Doug Nolan, will you tell us who got you into hockey?
First, thanks for the kind words, Billy. I thought I was a goal scorer. Obviously, you didn't think I was a goal scorer.
Dougie, you were never a goal scorer, ever.
Back when I was younger.
Who told you were?
At one point, I think I was a goal scorer.
Who told you that? What's the most goals you got in a year, bud?
CM was crushing it. 12 goals a year, 13 goals a year. That was great for me.
That's a good weekend, buddy.
How many games?
Probably 60, 12 goals.
How many did you get at St.
23 games in high school. So, my parents got me into hockey. At 3 years old, I was going down to Pilgrim Arena, skating with Mr. Taylor, as I'm sure both of you have. We all started there, Pilgrim Arena, and from there I went back to Quincy Youth Hockey, played Quincy Youth Hockey my whole life, and then went to CM after that.
How old were you when you first went down?
I was 3 years old when I first went down, a couple times a
3?
week. Yeah, 3 years old. Just having fun. My parents just get me out, exercise or whatever, and then it just became, my passion. I loved it, obviously.
So did you push the chairs or the milk crates, or what was your thing that you...
Milk crates, the double crates.
Yeah.
I pushed the double crates.
Yeah.
I think all of us have.
No, I started on the chairs. I'm older than you. Then they come up with the crates, but the crates would tip over.
Yeah.
How about you? Who got you started?
I think my parents did. I was probably
Joe and Kay?
4 or 5. Joe and Kay.
Speak up, please.
Joe and Kay, yep. I was probably 4 or 5. Then I was like a Seahawks guy, and then I played for the Kings a little bit. Then we had an Hombres team. Then I played for Assabet 1 year.
The Hombres had
Lucas. We had,
but you remember the shirt?
yeah, the
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam.
Shout out to the Hombres. I don't think I made the Hombres. I think they were the little hardcore and edgy for me at the time. Yeah, they were studs. The Hombres, yeah.
Jeff Lucas.
Jeff Lucas.
Jeff Conley.
Jeff Conley.
There was
Come on, talk up.
a bunch of guys. That was
But not Billy Tibbetts.
No, I wanted to be. I think I was an alternate.
I think
I forget.
I might have been actually. Weren't you?
Yeah, I think it was an alternate. Yeah. No, my dad was like, Billy's ready to play at the time. So anyways, so you playing Quincy youth hockey, right?
Yeah.
And then now are you traveling too?
Just playing Quincy youth for the majority of my youth hockey life. I think that's what most of us did. You know, now it's kind of gotten crazy with the club teams and stuff like that. But my parents could only afford for me to play youth hockey, so I played Quincy youth. It was great.
What about camps in the summertime? Were you doing anything?
No, not really. Played baseball, played football, played all the different sports. I think that's important now for young kids to play all the different sports
Absolutely.
to be a good athlete.
Absolutely.
And then as I got to Pee Wee Band, I started playing a little bit of club sports and venturing out and then concentrating on hockey a little more.
Why'd you choose CM for high school? And did you play any other sports there, Dougie?
Tell
us about it.
Yes, I played volleyball. I played volleyball at CM.
Volleyball!
Yeah.
Ah!
Best sport.
Volleyball! With the short shorts and the knee pads, obviously.
But I didn't actually. I wanted to go to BCI. That was my dream to go to BCI because I thought it.
Oh, hold on. Speak up.
You went to-
He couldn't get into BCI.
If you went to BCI, I thought you went to Boston College. That was my dream.
No.
As
I went to the big house.
I deserved to go there. But BCI, I didn't get in there, so I went to CM. Obviously, it worked out. You know, I went to CM with a lot of good hockey players, good teams, and from there I went on UMass Lowell.
So let me talk a little bit. That's where I met Dougie. Dougie and I and Tony Cinquegrano played in the Hockey Night in Boston on the South Shore team. And that's a big deal back in the day to be in Hockey Night in Boston and to be even chosen for that team over Bay State games or whatever. And Dougie was my line mate. He was my left wing, and we made very good friends. And molesting him over here. And, yeah, you know, anyways, he's got a big brick. So the next thing you know, yeah, I seen it, Hockey Night, first night. I'm like, ooh.
You're not the first person to say that.
So anyways, yeah, Dougie brought up some Hockey Night memories. I guess I went in and challenged some whole team.
Middlesex.
Yeah, Dougie had my back, I guess. Anyways, yeah, they did have my back, too. No, I guess not.
Didn't you go to CM?
No. I went to BCI for 2 years. You know who my freshman goalie was?
No.
Jimmy Carey. Yeah, and they didn't pick him for the varsity. He was bullshit. Yeah, and we were trying out for – I'll tell this story all the time. We were trying out for shortstop, and it came down to me and him, and he's like, I don't want to play baseball. I was like, are you sure? I was like, yes, because he was better. He was like A-Rod. I was like Altuve. You know, it was crazy. Yeah, but, yeah, he just gave up baseball that day like that. He was my good friend. He was a great kid. Shout out to Jimmy Carey. I think Paul Carey's a very, very talented hockey player. I don't know why he doesn't get more time in the NHL when he plays. I swear to God, and I'm not just saying this because I like the family.
Paul Carey's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's.
I know a lot of details with his dad. He works for National.
Oh,
Dad.
really? Oh, really?
Yep. Paul Carey's a good dude.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we got way off subject. It's their fault. Anyways, why'd you choose CM?
Like I said,
Tried to get into
I
BCI.
didn't get into BCI.
They told you to kick rocks.
I didn't get into BCI. A friend of my mother's, Matt Smith, Matt Smith, reached out to my mother, said, hey, CM's good school. Why don't you check it out or whatever. I went over there, loved it right away, fell in love. Went there my freshman year, just we had great kids there, great hockey players, and it was just the right pick for me. You know, I just kind of gelled there. It's a smaller school.
I think you guys won a couple state championships.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it, please?
We did pretty good. In the 90s, CM was like the place to be. I mean, I think we won all 10 state championships.
Did you win 4 in a row?
We did. I wasn't on varsity all 4 years. I mean, it was tough to make varsity. I don't think many guys.
Come on, speak in the camera, you fucking nutcase.
I don't think many guys as freshmen made varsity. So, you know, Jeff Kelty made varsity as a freshman. I didn't make it my sophomore year. I kept grinding. A lot of kids would, transfer.
Do you think that benefited you to not make the varsity as a sophomore? Because I know it did me at BC High. I got cut. I only played 3 games. One of the games they had me shadow Keith DeChuck, and I was like 96 pounds. I'm like, yeah, this will be fun. Anyways, next thing you know, Tommy Benson's my JV coach. I played power play. I played 4-on-4. I had a really big role on the team. I feel like it really benefited me to play those minutes without, you sit on the bench as a sophomore, you're not getting any minutes, and you're still playing against bigger guys in the JV back in the day with the Catholic Conference.
I think it's huge for development. I mean, my sophomore year I didn't make it, but I played JV, I played first line, I played power play, penalty kill, like you said. Just getting put in situations where you can make mistakes and develop. And I think it's
Can't
huge
answer that. I never played JV.
All right, I think we need to turn our attention over to here. I think he's feeling a little bit left out. So listen, as a young kid, you're growing up. You're obviously the best in Hull, right? So when did you know that you were better than everyone?
Eric Healy was
No, Eric Kelly was the goalie, and he's a lot younger. And Eric will tell you John's the best to come out of Hull until Eric Healy, and then we can debate that another time. Tell us about you being the best in the South Shore, really. He was all right, so anyways, I'll tell you about John Mahoney. There was a time on the ice at Pembroke Hofbrau Arena. We were playing for the Hofbrau Chiefs, and so John played also for my father's team, the Plymouth County All-Stars, and John was the number one person to call. I was the one that made the phone calls. I became very close with John's family. John's dad actually used to sell medical equipment. Yeah, equipment. You need to fucking tell me my job. Anyways, we used to sell medical equipment, and him and my dad, and anyways, they had a van. They used to take me. We'd carpool, and we became very close. But Robbie Canavan and John Mahoney were the two most influential kids in my hockey life. And we started to lose touch around, like 13, 14, 15. But up until then, I really, these guys were it. And this guy was the best 16-year-old in the world. He went to ULO. And then after ULO, tell us about your hockey career.
The best 16-year-olds in the world don't go to UMass. They go to BC.
Well, I was actually committed to UNH. The first day they could offer you a scholarship, UNH offered me. I committed. My father, my mother, and I went up there I went for a visit, whatever.
He committed to UNH. Are you hearing this?
And
Listen, yes.
My grades weren't so good, so they come up to me my senior year and said, "Listen, you gotta do something with your grades." Anyway, they ended up
guys
saying,
can hear it.
We can't get you in. So the next day, I went to BC, Northeastern, and Lowell. And BC said you got to go to play junior for a year. Northeastern said you can come. Lowell said you can come. And we never made it to Merrimack because I went to Lowell with Crowder, and I said, this seems like a good fit.
So listen, Dougie tried to chirp him. I'm going to tell you about, like I said, this kid was like a brother to me growing up, and Dougie's up in Quincy, down Germantown House Neck, getting toe dragged by the older kids. Me and this kid were playing series hockey. This kid had every college in the world after him. He had Boston College. He had UNH. They wanted him to go. UNH wanted him right away. BC wanted him to play a year of junior.
They had no scholarships left. They said, you got to go play a year.
Is that when Mike Milbury was there?
He was only there for a cup of coffee. It was right before him. It was Cedar Chuck.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Steve Cedar Chuck.
But I wanted to go to school. I was ready. I wasn't going to play junior.
How many? Tell us about your time at St. Sebastian's, because St. Sebastian's. My brother went to Governor Dummer, which is Governor's Academy now. We went to middle school at their academy. The prep school was it back then. They were better than the Catholic school. Okay, so there it is. So, but the Catholic school was had kids that would PG there. Tell us about St. Sebastian's. Those
so
teams.
I had never even heard of St. Sebastian's. My father got a call one day and said, "Can you guys come visit?" So I get up one day. He's like, "We're going to St. Sebastian's. We're going for a visit." I go, "What the? I never even heard of this school before. I didn't even know what league it's in. I know nothing about it." So we went there, and it's like a college campus. They had a pool, they had their own rink, they had everything. So we sit down with them. My father's like, "Well, they can't afford it." So they ended up working out a deal, and that's where I went.
So basically, back in the day, everybody used to say okay, we don't give scholarships, but they gave scholarships.
That's right.
Yeah, so they gave scholarships. So you're at. So you're at. Who's on your team your senior year? Tell us all the talent that was at St. Sebastian's at that time.
So my senior year, it was me, Helbig, and Robeson. The second line was Mike Greer, who played in the NHL for a million years. Jeff Conley, who was the #1 recruit in the country. and he played with a kid, Marty Clapton. I think they said there was 17 kids on that team on D1. On defense, we had Mahoney, who was a captain.
Joey Helbig, shout out to him. He played for the Bruins. He was an NHL guy.
Oh, yeah. Huge dude, and he hit like a truck.
Yeah, he went to Providence College. He's a good friend of mine. I love you, Joey.
And then Justin Gould was also a captain of Providence. Welch, went to Notre Dame. Albie O'Connell was also on that team. He was the captain of BU. He's now the head coach at BU. That team was loaded. I think we lost like 2 games.
Loaded. Who'd you have on D? Not a lot, right?
No, he had a lot of good. We had
Who? Who's the goalie?
Joe Harney, who's the captain of BC.
Joe Harney, good kid.
Justin Gould was the captain of Providence. Welch went to Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't remember the other one.
No, not a lot of big time. No, not for the forwards. Tell us about those CM teams. Get over here.
CM
These guys got to speak up, right? They're going to fuck the whole show up. Let's go.
The CM team was the only team that could actually beat St. Sebastian's.
You guys
beat us?
No.
Not my 4 years.
I saw scrimmages. Good games.
Obviously, we could beat St. Sebastian's. We did the same.
I really don't think so.
I was there.
No one
No.
was just any new standards. So we had Nolan, Sylvia, Fahey, those guys, Chris Kiley, Timmy Regan, Tim Duras, a bunch of Division I guys too. We were right there.
Yeah, I don't think any of those guys had. I mean, that's 1 and 1A. Well, anyway, tell us about your time at Lowell. You got a scholarship out of. So you were forward coming out of high school. How did you? Who told you to play D? I wish I would have figured that out because you couldn't put it in the ocean when I played with you. I'm not kidding.
My whole life
I think I gave you empty nets. I led hockey night in Boston in scoring. No thanks to you.
I think it was me and Tony that carried.
Yeah, you gave me a bunch of assists. You gave me the puck, and I went coast to coast.
Either way, I played forward 1 year, defense 1 year.
No, but honestly, dude, I really feel like you were born to be a defenseman. I think that happens to some kids.
Yeah, maybe him.
Well, tell me about. Do you think about that?
So when I was a senior at Lowell, Dougie came in as a freshman, and he was kind of like the water boy.
What I mean, he was like taking guys out with.
No, he wasn't. He didn't play very much. He didn't play.
I have no control.
We used to just like after practice, you throw all your laundry in the floor, and Dougie would like rattle the laundry, throw the wash and shit.
Whatever it takes. I'm a team guy.
Anything to say about that?
Team guy. Whatever it takes. We were I think we were ranked number 4 in the nation that year, 5 in the nation. We were a good team.
Yeah.
Just want to be part of the team.
No, listen.
On it. We didn't have a goal.
Honestly, who was the goalie?
Championship.
Who's the goalie?
How do you feel? Actually,
Yeah, he was pretty good, but we didn't have that. The one that steals a game.
So what turned you Lowell around? Was it your era? Because they're good now, and they're like people go there. And
Hellebuck won 3 Hockey East titles.
Who's Hellebuck?
He just won the Vesners, the best goalie.
I know who he is. Tell us who he is.
He's a goalie for the fucking.
It's my
Jets.
job to fucking.
We were always pretty.
Clayton?
Yeah, we were always pretty good, but we never made it over the hump. Like the 1 year we were supposed to win Hockey East, we lost to Providence, like 4-3. My freshman year, we lost to Maine, 3-2. That year they had Korea, the Friars, all of them.
I saw you guys beat BU at BU.
Oh yeah, we did all right against BU. BC was terrible my 4 years. They weren't very good. BU was always good.
Well, guys talking about why BC wasn't any good anymore, right out of the schools. Because everyone else
BC
was.
at the time, remember
That's why I said BC. No,
oh, I thought you said BU. I don't know what happened. There's a lot of politics with some of the picks that they had. The guys they brought in didn't belong at BC. You know what I mean? They should have been at.
Whose fault was that? What were people saying?
I don't know. I guess I have no idea. But they weren't very good.
There was an exchange of the guy with Len Cedachuk. And I'll just let you guys know there was we're going to take a quick break and take a pee and get beers. So at that point in time, they gave like 30 scholarships out. They had like 23. Mike Milbury came in for an interview. Wasn't his fault. Then they had a lot of shit going on with the transition of coaches.
Nobody actually took the job. He had it for like 10 days.
He did.
Fuck this. It's a mess.
He
did. Promised everybody all these scholarships. You only get 20. They gave out like 30.
Also, there was some other people involved. It wasn't just on Mike Milbury. Shout out to Mike Milbury and his family. And, when I was joking about you before, being like, shut up, Mike Milbury, when you were doing the analysts, I was just trying to get laughs. It was never serious. And I always honor ex-hockey players. And I'm humbled to be respected by my public and my fans. And we're going to take 5, maybe 10, depends how many beers we shoot, and how many rods we bang out back? Because we got fucks galore. Hey, we got a new guy here, Paul Tibbetts. Okay, Paul's my namesake, but not related. He was my line mate at Don Bosco, and we want to ask Paul, who got you into hockey?
My dad, he went to Providence, Charlestown High, and then Providence. And I began skating at an early age. Played Charlestown youth hockey, went to Don Bosco, went to Stonehill. Now I'm a longshoreman. That's it.
Well, what about you meeting Billy the Kid at high school? Where you were like, this kid got my name? What the fuck is this? Who's this little pussy from the South Shore?
I remember you as a freshman at BC High. I was actually, it was a freshman team. I was actually taller than you, and now you're much taller than me.
I know it. I know. Can you believe it?
You were the first line center at BC High. That team. That was a good team too.
Listen, so I'm just gonna freelance right now, and we're gonna have a good time doing this. I'm gonna ask these guys questions that I want to know about them as hockey players, because my mind was so active as a hockey player as a kid. So I used to be like watching the Bees game and like thinking like, what's Robbie Canneman and John Mahoney doing to be better at hockey? And hey, Dad, will you play goalie for me? And all this stuff, right? So I just was like a hockey junkie, right? I just loved it. And John Mahoney, why did you use no tape on your stick when we were growing up?
I have no idea.
Well, do you know that you did that?
Oh yeah, I did it until I was in college. I started using tape when I got to college. I never used tape.
Do you think it was Rick Middleton?
Probably Eric Healy.
Whoa. Eric Healy. Were we trying to get him on the show today?
Yeah, he was busy. He's
busy, huh? Yeah, rusty wheels, heels. Yeah, you could never catch me. What do you mean Eric Healy told you?
I don't know. I probably got the idea from Eric. Another how kid. Good kid. But he couldn't come tonight. He wanted to come, but he couldn't make it.
Eric Healy, we love you, buddy. And congratulations to your son. I heard he's going to Harvard University. What an honor. My dad and my sister also went there. And anyone who gets to go there, what an honor. Okay, Eric Healy, I love you, buddy. Listen, Dougie, tell us about when you got to Lowell. Like, you're a freshman. You didn't play a lot?
As a freshman.
For real. You didn't play a lot, right? Johnny said it?
Yeah, I was a freshman. We had 6 senior forwards, like 4 junior forwards. We were the 4th line. So we had 2 top lines that played.
Who was on your line?
It was me, my roommate Mike Mulligan, kid from Ontario, and Billy Riga, who was coaching at Quinnipiac.
Billy Riga. Yeah, I know Billy Riga very well. He was an excellent hockey player.
Yeah.
He's the assistant head coach at Quinnipiac.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. No, I think he's the assistant head coach, right? A co-coach or something?
No, I remember him. He was a left shot. He was rangy. He was like Craig Janey.
Hey, but we would never play a lot. We wouldn't play a lot, but that year,
Johnny Mahoney's son wants to go to Quinnipiac. Billy Riga.
Hey, that year you got 5 points if you won a game. And there was a shootout, and we would never play. We'd play like one shift a period. We would cycle the shit out of the puck, but we could never work the puck out of the corner. But at the end of the game, hey, listen. At the end of the game, there was always
nobody wanted you.
There were shootouts, and Billy Riga would go in the shootout every time and go 5-0.
Shootouts where? In
Hockey
college?
East, yeah.
What? Are you kidding me?
Billy was sick in the shootout.
What is this? The IHL? Hockey East had fucking shootouts.
5 points a game.
I think the shootouts fucking bullshit.
5 points.
We should go 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3. 2-on-2, 1-on-1, then the goalies fight it out. Listen, tell us about Stonehill College. What did you go to, Don Bosco? Who else were you talking to? What other colleges?
None really. I just always wanted to go to Stonehill for education reasons only. That's where I went. It wasn't about the hockey for me.
What did you study there, Paulie?
Business. That was it.
That's it? And what do you do now? Do you do business?
I run a crane for a living now, longshoreman.
All right, you want to shout anyone out here?
My daughter going to Stonehill. Alexa, keep the good work up.
Keep it up, Alexa. We love you. Johnny, after Lowell, you had 4 good years there. Yeah. Can you tell us what you had for points there? Like the freshman year through senior year, like what kind? Did you get points where you thought you could turn pro?
I had like 20 points, I think. Sophomore year, we actually
20 points as a freshman?
Yeah, 20. My
That's
sophomore
pretty good.
year, we had a bunch of injuries.
Because Lowell doesn't have a good team ever, so 20 points as a freshman is good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. No, we were all right. And then we had a bunch of injuries. My
How many
sophomore year,
goals
so I
out of
played
20
defense.
points?
11.
Fucking good, dude.
It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad. Then my senior year, I
Did you
had
think about turning pro after freshman year?
no, I wasn't good. I wasn't good.
What were
And
you
then my
lacking?
senior year, I
Hold on, let me get over here, Paulie.
Yeah.
What were you lacking in your game? Sorry. Hey, what were you lacking in your game as a freshman where you had 20 points, but you didn't think you could? Because when I was 19, I was always working on my game, and I didn't think you had 20 points as a freshman. What did you think? You had 11 goals, so you didn't think you could play pro hockey at that point? You wanted to stay in
No, I
school?
wasn't good.
What did you feel like you needed to work on?
Everything. Yeah,
Tell us about it, John. Tell us what you were thinking as a 19-year-old kid.
No, I was just more of a college student having fun. I didn't really take it as serious as I should have. And then my sophomore year, I played defense because we had a bunch of injuries. And then my junior year, it was a pretty good year. I had like 20-something points. And then my senior year, I had 21
How many?
goals. I forget.
What
My
about-
senior year, I
what-
had 40 points. I think I had 21 goals. My
That's
senior year.
awesome,
That
dude.
was
For
not
you,
good.
Lowell, Hockey East, playing against the Iron, like BU, BC, Northeastern. Who else? Merrimack. Who else?
Maine
Maine.
was always good.
Who was the best team that year?
BU. They had
Who's the best player
really
you ever played against in college
Korea.
hockey?
Paul Korea was unbelievable.
Tell us
Men
about it.
amongst kids. He was unbelievable. He'd go right around the defenseman like they weren't even there. And these guys were legit D1 defensemen. Like Travis Tucker, Scotty Meehan. There's some guys that played pro that he was just unbelievable.
What did you learn from watching him?
Nothing.
Really?
No, it's just the whole game is speed. He had the speed. You could.
If there's anything you could tell the kids about, like what you think it takes to get to that next level,
the whole, like my father used to say, the whole game is all about speed. Like we just played.
who's the fastest guy you
Matthews-
ever played with? Besides me.
Probably not you.
And I'm not kidding.
Lily from BU. Remember that kid?
Shout out to John Lilly. Yeah, he could blow his doors off. I did at Shinny Hockey in Saugus one day. No, it was an honor to play with you, John Lilly. Just kidding. You were a really nice guy, too.
He had absolute jets.
That's a good guy.
We played against Kachuk when I was in high school.
All right, well, sorry. I'm not in the fucking...
I played against Kachuk in high school, and he used to stand at the red line. They beat us 5-4. He scored all 5 goals.
Shut the fuck
Swear to
up.
God. They dumped.
Chachuk or Lily?
No, this is Kachuk. I was just thinking
I
out.
thought you said
He's
Lily.
probably the best player I ever played against, Kachuk. He would just stand at the red line. He was a big, fat kid. He unbelievably skilled, though. And he was just going to undress
You know
the
that
goal.
the 3 games, Terry Long, actually, shout out to Terry Long. I love you, buddy. And Steve Long, his dad, unbelievable guy, state cop. Shout out to Steve Police and the Boston Police and the Quincy Police and all the police in the Massachusetts area. But anyways, yeah, Terry Long made the team. I was choked, but it turned out to be the best thing that happened to me. And I played JV, but they called me up for 3 games. One of them against Malden Catholic, and they had me shadow Keith Sachuk. He got 2 goals, no big deal. No, I just say that as a joke. I don't know what happened in that game, but I covered him, and I think I did an all right job. But yeah, it's definitely different in high school when you got guys like you were. I think one of the things, not to say about me knowing my hockey, what I know about it, just keeping it real. I think you grew kind of early, and you were more mature than everyone, and you could kind of get by on just your skill. You didn't really have to.
I never hit the weight room until I got to college, and it made you. Never once. I hated the weight room. I hated going to
What
the
did
gym.
you think about it once you hit it?
I still hated it.
What do you tell about the kids now?
No, now you have to do it. Like the plyometrics and stuff. Like my son plays for the Kings. They have that ESP at the gym where they work out for an hour and then they practice for an hour and a half. He's like, well, you never did that. I go, yeah, but if I did do that, I probably would have played a lot longer.
And
It's important.
so the discipline that you have used to become a leader in society and become a guy that never did drugs or never turned to the dark side of society and been a real stand-up guy. Is that same discipline, the discipline you're talking about right now for like your son to and your daughters to really just hit the weights and just like do all the right things?
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. I try to lead by example a little bit, but I didn't start going to the gym until I got married. My wife made me walk with her and run, and that's when I started getting in shape. But I was never in shape in high school and college like you should be. Like
So
these
how
kids
did you
now,
have such discipline in life, but not in the weight room?
I think when we were in
I'm
high school,
curious
we were
about
never
that,
shown.
really.
When we were in high school, no one went to the gym. Like nobody. Like it was not a big. It's not like it is now. It's completely different.
Honestly,
Back in the 90s.
I hear you because in Situate they would be like, "Oh, that guy's a meathead if he was jacked and stuff like that," and it was kind of weird. And they kind of like glorified potheads in the South Shore back in the day. It was kind of weird, but I don't know how it was up in Boston. Paul, what about like the social aspects of being a hockey player and
was out of control.
yeah.
Drinking, the drugs, everything's out of control.
Yeah, and if you're a hockey player and you want to be going to hockey practice, I think this is a good topic that we're on right now, and and I think it's something that the kids should know about. No, we're good. Don't worry about it. And but thank you, kiddo. So like staying off of drugs and drinking is a big part of and being in Quincy too. I think a lot of Quincy athletes go through the same sort of.
Inner city kids always run into these problems.
Yeah, they do. So, anyways, Dougie, how'd you get out of Lowell and turn to pro? Tell us about it.
After my senior year, I was drafted by Toronto.
What round?
In the 11th round. They don't even have 11 rounds anymore. That's how bad I was.
It's all right, buddy. I never got drafted, so you're like yeah. No, dude, you are a hell of a talent. And a hell of a hockey mind.
After that, I was released by Toronto.
I'll just say this right now. Dougie Nolan was just like Jason McDonald. He was one of my best wingers because he was the best chess player, right? Hockey is a chess game, and Dougie has an unbelievable hockey mind, okay? Unbelievable hockey mind. That's why he could transfer from forward after college to be a professional defenseman for 20 years. Tell us about how you did that.
My junior year at Lowell, I played defense, so I had some experience playing defense. After 2 years of pro hockey, I couldn't score goals. I was kind of stuck in the East Coast League, and my coach was mentioning maybe try defense. I was a pretty good skater or whatever, so he put me on defense, and I was comfortable there, and I felt great. And it just kind of went from there, and
Hey, so I would have been fighting with myself saying, no, I'm a goal scorer. When did you just say, no, I need to make the switch? I can't put in the ocean. I'm just kidding. I love you.
As you get higher in hockey, it's just about being humble and finding a niche that you can play and excel at. And I just think that, for me as a forward, I couldn't do it playing pro hockey. I wasn't going to go anywhere playing forward. So I decided to play. I was a defensive
Did someone
forward.
tell you that?
Yeah. I was a defensive forward anyways.
Who told you that you're not going anywhere unless you go to
my coach in the East Coast League, Greg Ireland, mentioned, it's going to be tough.
Greg Ireland?
Yeah.
I played against him. He shirt me from the bench. I wanted to kill him.
Shirt from the bench, yeah. Shocked you didn't unravel. You hold it together?
Yeah. I was in Chicago. I had a great girlfriend.
But Greg just mentioned maybe trying D and giving yourself a second chance at moving up to the American League, and I tried it. I was comfortable there, and
Now, did you practice your backward skating as much as your forwards growing up? Tell us about your skating, because pretty remarkable that you could just be a backward skater. Like you could just what about that guy from? He's a right shot, but he was in Detroit, and he went from forward to defense. And he won a couple cups too.
Boyd Devereaux?
No, he was a forward. But anyways, that's tough to do. So
I did it my whole life. I played forward my first year when I was a squirt, peewee, and I played defense the second year. So I was always switching back and forth.
You ever play goalie?
Never played goalie.
I played net. Whatever.
No chance.
Eric Healy was a goalie.
You should have stayed in that.
No. All right, so I got a quick Eric Healy story. Then we're going to take a break and pound these beers. So Eric Healy had a yellow helmet.
Yes, sir.
Full cage. And my dad, he was another one, the first one we called. John Mahoney, Eric Healy. All right, listen. When he went into the net, he just stood under the bar. And then I have a picture of him with the young, and I also have a picture of Eric Healy at my first communion, and my grandmother couldn't tell us apart, but I'm better looking. Anyways, the Billy Big Time Show live at the Hoffy with John Mahoney, Paul Tibbetts, and Dougie Nolan. Thank you to Mikey Novak. You're a legend. Big time and showtime and action. Listen up. It's been an awesome night here at the Hofbrau with Mike Novak and Jack Moran and thanks to John Mahoney, thanks to Paul Tibbetts. But the star of the night is actually Doug Nolan. Doug and I have been – hey, you look stupid, just not even with the mask. You're just stupid looking. Anyways, Doug's one of my best friends. Like I said, a couple of years back, before I went to Christian Athletes Hockey Camp, Doug, I asked Doug, I said, Doug, actually, I think I went there and came back. Either way, right? Yeah, tell us about when I called you. What'd you think? You were like, "Oh, this fucking nuts calling me."
Yeah, so I have a business now, Pro Edge Hockey, and you called me and you wanted to skate and come back. Obviously, you're always welcome with my skates, and I think you're an awesome guy. High school, college kids, I invited you down there, and we had a conversation beforehand. I was like, Billy, just be responsible, do the right thing. Please don't act up. And I picture you like, I'm going to come down there. I'm making a comeback. And I said, all right, skates at 7 o'clock in the morning. Billy says, well, I don't have my license. So I said, well, I'll pick you up. Where do you want me to pick you up? He said, Quincy T Station. I'm like, all right, perfect. I'll pick you up. 6:15 in the morning, Quincy T Station. So it's raining out.
Was I there?
It's raining out. It's pouring out. I pull up to Quincy T Station. Billy's sitting on the Starbucks, leaning on Starbucks.
Because I'm fucking hungry. Blue flame.
Smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, Billy, what are you doing? He goes, I'm just I made so much money playing hockey, and I want to play hockey, and I have the drive to play hockey. I'm like, perfect. You're making a comeback. Like, let's go. Get in the car. So you jumped in the car, and I brought you down there, and you went in the locker room, and every kid that came in that morning, I was like, hey, there's a kid in there. He's kind of a psycho.
Kind of a psycho. Hello.
Just don't say anything to him. Go out there on the ice and work your ass off, and everything will work out. So these kids come in, and every kid I say the same thing to, and 10 minutes later, I'm getting Snapchats back at me. And it's Billy picking up his hockey bag, doing a squat, and chucking it on the ground.
No, I think he's making this up because a lot of – hold on. I'll let him speak. I will let him speak, but I even knew this was going to happen. A lot of my friends, my really good friends – no, it's not a fact. All right, tell the story. Hey, because it's not a fact. I'll let this go because he's the star.
So
Shut the fuck. No, I'm
He's shucking his bag off the ground, and I'm like, holy shit, what's going on there? So I asked someone to man the front door and check.
Man, don't see what I'm saying? He's already jerking you off.
I walk in the locker room, and Billy's sitting there. Billy, what are you doing? I'm just getting warmed up. And he's sweating his ass off. He's doing his squat.
No, that's not true.
And listen, he went out.
Take the mic.
He went out there, and the kids loved him. And the whole summer, he worked his ass off. He did the right thing. At times, he got out of control. But the kids loved him.
What does that mean? No, now they think I'm out the parking lot doing donuts around the rent.
To this day, these kids still love you. To this day, these kids still.
What's out of control? I'm interviewing you.
Everyone knows what's wrong. You're out of control is different than a lot of other people's out of control, but you're out of control. You were awesome, Ted.
Hey, listen, no, it's not true. It's not true. Don't listen to Douglas. So anyways, Douglas, when you turned pro, like, who was the main influence on you? Like, because you played for, like, how long? Tell us about your career, like, your first year pro.
Played 14 years. So played in Dane with Greg Island, awesome coach. Played with Babcock in Cincinnati, was awesome with Sean Avery and Chris O'Sullivan, a couple of those guys. And then I never stuck anywhere, but when I went
What do you mean? Yeah, you did.
I went to Manchester. Hugh McDonough took a liking to me.
How'd you get there?
I just got called up one time, and Bruce Bourgeot was the coach.
Was that after Cincy?
That was after Cincy, yeah.
And so where'd you start out that year?
Started out in Dayton. And
that year on the coast?
Yeah, I just went up and down.
Cincinnati's team is Dayton's AHL team? Dayton is AHL?
At the time it was, yeah.
Okay,
at the time it was.
Take us from there.
So we're obviously like going up and down the yo-yo, just doing your thing, trying to make it, trying to stick it at a place.
What were you doing to improve every year?
At that time, I just played defense, and I was trying to do like different defensive drills and working my backwards skating.
How so? Where?
I just came back here. Ton of shinny hockey with you.
All right. Well, what about like what exactly?
Ton of shinny hockey. Gary Hebert. Work with Gary Hebert. Backwards skating.
Yeah, but what would he have you do?
Just different pivots, different hip work, and just different skating stuff that would make me quicker. and just like I don't know, identifying situations, making the first pass. It's just the things that you look for in a defenseman, right? I never knew that. I never.
What are the
coached.
3 most important things for a young defenseman to learn?
I think first of all is being coachable. A lot of kids nowadays, like, they're not coachable. They think
Great answer.
They think they're the best kids around, but like there's always better kids. And like being coachable, like being receptible to like just listening to guys and like getting better, taking what they say to you in account, like and then performing in the game. That's a huge thing. Being coachable, competing, working
Can
hard.
you see that right away?
Yeah. Certain kids you say something to and they just roll their eyes and they're too good.
What ages are the worst for that?
14, 15, 16.
And how do you deal with it?
I mean, you do what you can as a coach, right? I mean, you push them, you try to steer them in the right direction, but some kids aren't coachable, right? And you've seen it obviously in your career, and I've seen it in my career. And some people aren't coachable; they think they're better than they are. But if you're coachable, if you compete, you're a good teammate. Like,
all right, after coachable, what's the second most important thing for kids?
I think compete level. Certain
What
kids,
does that mean?
Compete level, just getting in the corners, winning battles, winning
What does that mean?
battles, like just taking things personal.
What does winning a battle mean?
Just taking it personal. You lose a battle, whatever it takes.
How do you win a battle?
Well, you gotta have some balls.
How do you win a battle? I'll tell you right now if you don't know.
Go in there and out tough the other guy.
You have to have like a good fucking center of gravity and
center of gravity. Yeah, of course. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah. And you have to like figure it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
And you obviously won a lot of battles.
You really learned that.
You won a lot of battles.
You really learned that. You were 6'2", 215 pounds,
yeah.
And you were an AHL defenseman. When I saw you play in Hershey that time, and this is for all that we've joked around a lot tonight, but I watched Douglas play, and I really scouted him at that time. I drove from Wilkes-Barre Scranton to Hershey to watch him play, and he was the best defenseman on the ice. So at that point in your life, I think you played maybe 5 to 7 more years. How did you become not an NHL defenseman, but in my eyes, the best defenseman? The best defenseman on the ice.
I played with a lot of good guys, so
Hold on, Doug.
Good coaches
Doug, that wasn't the best game in the world, but like you stood out as like the best all-around defenseman. So how did you do that, Doug?
I think you're being nice right now.
No, Doug. I don't fucking care, bro. I was with Chris Bork. I think he was a healthy scratch with Hershey that night, and like his sister, like sitting in the stands watching you play. And I was commenting all night on how you were the best defenseman out there, and you've never played an NHL game, and you never did. So tell us about that, Doug. Tell us about that.
I'm trying to. I just think it's just being humble, being accountable, showing up to work every day, like going over video, watching video. I had some of the best coaches, whether it be Babcock, Bruce Boudreau.
All right, that's all bullshit.
Jimmy Hughes.
What's your daily routine to get better at hockey and to be a pro hockey player?
When I was with Jimmy Hughes in Manchester, I used to watch video with him for countless hours and just talking about different situational stuff. And Jimmy, like, he's a savant. Like, obviously Quinn and Jack are great, and like, they're doing well, and he's a third kid on the way. But like, Jimmy Hughes was a big influence in my life, and he was awesome for me. It's just as far as like taking me aside, just working on like just situational stuff and making first passes and percentage plays. And Jimmy took care of me in Manchester. He brought me to Russia in the KHL. I played in the KHL.
Okay, so your time with Jimmy Hughes, what was the first time you said to yourself, "This is pretty amazing"?
At first, I thought he was busting my balls and thought he was being hard on me. But after a while, I actually knew he really cared, and he was looking after me as a player, and he did that for all of us. That was the year. Bruce Boudreau was our coach. Jimmy was our assistant coach. It was the year of the lockout. We had Camilleri there, Dustin Brown. We had a lot of talented kids.
Did anything ever happen on the ice that happened where you said, "Oh, well, that was the result of all that video work"?
Yeah, just I don't know, just different situational stuff where like you have to make, as a defenseman, you make quick decisions and real quick, seconds. So you have to like see who's more dangerous, who's not dangerous, and going over that repetitively in video, it's huge.
What's the first thing you look for in a young defenseman as far as like the first pass or like great skater or
like skating nowadays?
Skating?
Right.
Skating?
If you can't skate, you can't play.
So who do you think was the MVP in this year's playoffs? They gave it to Victor Hedman. Do you think Vasilevsky or Kucherov deserved it?
he's MVP for sure.
And why do you think he was the best player in the
He's a beast
playoffs?
out there. He's playing 24 minutes. He's playing against the top line against the other team. He's shutting them down. He's playing power play, penalty kill. Like, it's tough to find guys.
Now,
like
do
that.
you teach kids how to block shots?
Yeah. Obviously, like, as a coach, you teach them.
Okay, what technique do you use to teach them?
Obviously, if you get in a shooting lane, you're reaching out, stick on puck.
No, obviously I don't know because I'm just a fan.
Shots, Billy.
And I'm actually interviewing professional hockey player Doug Nolan. This kid was unbelievable. If he started out as a defenseman, he probably would have been like a third-round pick. It's Doug Nolan. We're going to finish up this interview. We got 5 minutes left. Doug Nolan, tell us about your life after hockey.
At first, I took an office job. I thought it was
You outkicked your coverage with your wife.
my coverage.
Can
My
we
wife's,
talk
my
about
wife's
that
the
for a
best. Yeah,
second?
my wife Brooke's awesome. I met my wife Brooke when I was playing
Shout out to Brooke.
junior
How do you
hockey.
do it?
So I met Brooke when I was playing junior hockey. She's been with me through college and 14 years of pro hockey. She takes care of my kids at home.
So listen, talk about your role as a leader in the community of Quincy, Mass, and with Mike Novak and Johnny Ryan and all the good people that come in this bar, and how there's never been any I'm just impressed with the people here and the way they've treated me over the years, and a lot of people haven't treated me all that well. But Dougie Nolan and Mikey Novak always have. Can you tell us about your neighborhood and your community and how special it is to you guys and it is to me as well?
It's Quincy. I lived in House Neck. I grew up in House Neck.
What's it mean to be a Quincy kid? Shout out to all the Quincy kids I ever made friends with. And there's more than I can count.
It's blue collar. It's hardworking people, accountable people, people that care about their families. They go to work every day and they take care of their kids. And they're a tight-knit community, and where one goes, all of us go, and we have each other's back. And it's a great place to be from. So
Is
we
there
always
anyone-
accept people like you and people from outside that are blue collar, hardworking people.
Is there anyone you want to shout out tonight besides your wife?
My wife and my daughter Shay, my daughter Kendall, and then I'm coaching a U14 Charles River Blazers. I'd like to shout out them too. Girls.
So listen, I want to shout out the U14 Blazers, Dougie Nolan and his family, and Mikey Novak. Listen, I think we had a successful show here tonight, and I really want to honor Mikey Novak and the Hoffy. Thank you, the Billy Big Time Show. You already know.